Jordan Peterson, the self-declared paragon of free expression and intellectual rigor, finds himself in a predicament that is nothing short of a Greek tragedy of his own making. Stripped of his clinical psychology license by the College of Psychologists of Ontario, a consequence of his own unbridled verbosity, he stands as a testament to the perils of hubris. His subsequent podcast, a melodramatic lamentation with his daughter, only underscores the self-inflicted nature of his downfall, revealing an astonishing lack of self-awareness and responsibility for his predicament. This spectacle is not so much an indictment of the system that censured him, but rather a striking example of a man undone by his own hand. In this broadcast, a familial tête-à-tête, Peterson and his daughter Michaela dissect the carcass of his professional demise with a mixture of defiance and incredulity. Here we have Peterson, a man who for years has positioned himself as a bulwark against the tide of political correctness, now finding himself in the crosshairs of the very institutions he has so often lambasted. The irony is palpable, akin to watching a Greek tragedy unfold, where the protagonist's hubris is his ultimate undoing. Peterson's tirade against the College of Psychologists of Ontario is rife with the melodrama of a Shakespearean character. He rails against the decision to mandate his re-education, a concept so deliciously Orwellian that one can almost hear the ghost of Huxley chuckling in the background. In his view, this is not just a battle for his professional life, but a war for the soul of free expression itself. Yet one cannot help but observe the inherent contradiction in Peterson's stance. Here is a man who has built a career on dispensing advice on life's complexities, now seemingly unable to apply his own teachings to navigate the tumultuous waters he finds himself in. The college's decision, based on his public statements, is portrayed as a draconian measure, a violation of his sacrosanct right to free speech. But one must wonder, where does the responsibility of a public figure begin and the right to unfettered speech end? In a Kafkaesque twist, Peterson's narrative weaves through various themes, from the perils of obesity to the complexities of gender identity, climate change skepticism, and even a dash of governmental critique. It's a veritable buffet of controversy, each topic more contentious than the last. And yet, in his fervor to defend his views, Peterson seems oblivious to the societal shifts that have rendered some of his positions not just unpopular, but potentially harmful in the eyes of the regulating body. As for the podcast itself, it is an exercise in echo chamber rhetoric, with Michaela playing the role of the dutiful daughter, echoing and amplifying her father's grievances. The dialogue oscillates between self-pity and defiant proclamations, a dance of the aggrieved and the righteous. Peterson positions himself as a martyr of sorts, a victim of the woke mob and the oppressive regulatory body, all while ignoring the potential impact of his words on the very fabric of the society he claims to champion. The podcast is less a discourse on the injustice of Peterson's situation and more a soliloquy of self-vindication. It's a performance worthy of the grandest stages, where the protagonist, blinded by his own convictions, fails to see the tragic flaw within himself. As the curtain falls on this act of his career, one is left to ponder the Shakespearean adage, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves."